This is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and in today's video I'm going to test the water resistance of the 6 gray inks in my collection. Now I'm going to do a writing sample with each. I'll wait a couple minutes, submerge the writing sample in water, leave it for a couple minutes, and then we'll see how well the inks hold on to the paper. I'm going to begin with my Diamine Earl Grey. This is in a Pilot 78G. These are all fine nibs or either extra fine that write like a fine. Okay. Next, I've got Pilot Iroshizuku Kiri-same in a Pilot Prerifine. And I'm surprised that this feels drier than the Earl Grey. But I guess it is a lighter color ink. I find that if you're going to write with a light gray ink like this, a Pilot nib tends to perform the best. They tend to be smoother. Okay, next I have Robert Oster Summerstorm in a Platinum 3776. This is also a fine nib. I can really feel the feedback in this one. You can probably hear it. Okay. Next, I've got Noodler's Lexington Gray in a Sailor Pro Color 500. Now this, I guess this is a medium fine nib, so it's slightly wider, but this ink tends to spread also. I'm going to do a little reverse writing with this one. Okay. Next, I've got Graphon Faber-Castell Stone Gray in a Faber-Castell Ambition. This is an extra fine nib, but it writes like these other fine nibs. Now, originally, I had put the Summerstorm in this pen, but then I thought, I bet I should write with pair up the Faber-Castell ink and pen. So I cleaned it out and put Stone Gray in this one. And I will say the Stone Gray writes much smoother and much more enjoyably in this extra fine than the Summerstorm did. Summerstorm was just really scratchy in this extra fine. Okay, and finally, what's the last one? Oh, Monteverde Moonstone, which arguably could be considered a brown ink, but it's got a lot of gray in it. Let's see, this is... got a lot of feedback in this Sailor Pro Gear Slim with a fine nib. All right. Now, I'm going to let these dry just a couple minutes, and then we'll submerge them in the water. I'll pause it and come back in just a couple minutes. Okay, it's been a couple minutes. Let's see how these look. Different takes on gray. One thing I've noticed about Noodler's Lexington gray, it looks, to me, it just looks like watered down black ink, which kind of surprised me, which I thought pretty much all gray inks would just be a watered down, like a gray or a watered down black or a blue black or something like that, some variation on black. But really, you can have some gray inks that are more saturated than others, and that doesn't necessarily make them darker. All right. I'm going to submerge these for a couple minutes. It's interesting the color that you see lifting up. Okay, and again, I'm going to pause the video for a couple minutes and then I'll come back. All right, let's see how these turned out. I'm kind of impressed with Kiri-same. That it's much more readable than I thought it was going to be. When I was doing the initial writing samples for my video that I did the writing tests with this, whenever I would do my little X's and do the ink smear, it would almost completely wipe away, and I thought, oh, this will probably be one of those inks that just completely disappear, but no, it's not. And Noodler's Lexington Gray looks like a waterproof black ink. That's kind of interesting. And I thought Stone Gray was going to have more water resistance than this, but I guess it has a little bit. You can still, if you wrote notes with it, you would still be able to recover your notes. But the surprising one in this writing test was the Kiri-same. I had a feeling. I knew Lexington Gray was pretty waterproof. Well, that's interesting. And then the others just completely washed away. There's a few little dots of the Moonstone, but it's not, you wouldn't be able to recover anything. It's not readable. All right. That was interesting. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.